Welcome to the news. We start from the Upper East, and government has banned the carrying of arms and ammunition in the Boku enclave. It has also renewed the curfew hours imposed from 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. until further notice. Police say in the last 3 days, at least 10 people have been shot and 6 deaths recorded. Upper East Regional Minister Stephen Yakubu, who confirmed to Joy News, said the development had left the town in a state of emergency.
Currently, what we are doing at Westside is to calm things down and for us to have peace. Yesterday, we hear during the night, they were also fighting also. And some people have passed on. Our understanding is that officially about 2, but people are telling us 4, so we are checking to make sure to know the numbers. But this is what is happening. Boku is very charged as we speak now. And we have informed our security services to see what they can do to bring calm to the place.
I'm sure you have some initial report as to what could have led to this fresh fighting last night that you're talking about.
Yes. After we had left, one person was killed. And that was on that very Monday. And then the following day, 2 people were also killed. I am sure it's because of this that is led to the killings, and now Boku is fully charged.
And per the reports that you're getting, we are mentioning 5. How many persons exactly from this fresh killings that we are talking about? How many persons exactly have lost their lives, you'd say?
Well, for now, what I know officially is 2. But as I said, I am hearing 4. But officially, we deal with the official numbers. If I say official numbers, what the police know, these are the information that I'm giving you.
It's rather disturbing to hear you say Boku is currently charged. What exactly then are we doing about the situation to calm tempers?
Well, this morning I had a meeting with the National Peace Council. We are drawing our strategies. When this Boku is charged like this, then the military and the police will have to take charge. And that is exactly what they are doing right now. And we are also talking to both factions to talk to their youth, opinion leaders, the key members of both the Mampris and the Kusasis, calm the situation. And that is what we are doing. So we are engaging all the stakeholders. That's what we are doing. That's RESEC.
It appears that your meeting with both factions was really an exercise in futility. You agree?
No. I think that it was good that we went. It was good that they listened to us. It was good that we also listened to them. Their concerns were brought, and we are working on them. So I don't think that it was bad that we went there. We went to appraise ourselves and told them what we think. And it has helped. Who knows, if we didn't go, maybe it would have been worse.
Meanwhile, Defense Minister Dominic Nitiwul says the Ghana Armed Forces has foiled an attempt to blow up a bridge with an improvised explosive device in Boku.
We do not stop what is happening in Boku now, and now we risk the situation where Ghana can be thrown under terrorist attacks. For the first time, Mr. Speaker, 3 days ago, improvised explosive device was used for the first time in this country to try to blow a bridge. Don't let us joke with Boku.
Let's go to the Upper West region now. Vice Chancellor of the Dr. Hilaliman Technical University, Professor Elias Soli, is worried about the reduction in government's allocation of finances to tertiary institutions. He wants these institutions to find alternative ways of raising funds to support their activities. Professor Soli made the statement at the opening of a 4-day capacity building workshop for staff of the Dr. Hilaliman Technical University. Here's a report by correspondent Rafiq Salam.
The 4-day capacity building workshop held for staff of the Dr. Hilaliman Technical University is on quality assurance, grant writing, and fundraising strategies. The aim of the workshop is to build capacities of the staff in the institution to share ideas with them the opportunities available in writing for grants and other academic writings. Vice Chancellor of the Dr. Hilaliman Technical University, Professor Elias Sole, in his welcome address, noted that funds provided by governments the world over for educational institutions are dwindling over the years, and there is therefore the need for the institutions to create avenues to complement the efforts of the government, since it can't shoulder it alone.
What governments are providing for institutions, higher education, is dwindling. It's reducing over the years because there's pressure on the economy, more institutions are introduced, and they are all relying on the same cake. So if we want to grow, we cannot continue to rely solely on government support. Many institutions have developed and excelled based on their own efforts. And I think that one of the the main reason for this workshop is to open our eyes to what resources there are for us to benefit from. Others are flying. People are winning grants in millions of dollars. They are no more intelligent than you are. They're not smarter than you. In fact, some of you are so smart that if you could focus your mind on those things, you'll be swimming in millions.
Professor Sole said he will ensure that staff who wins grants for the institution has their promotion fast-tracked.
So we want to make sure that we can stand on our feet. And to do so, we need to look out there. There are resources. I'm sure Doc will tell you, millions of dollars, euros out there for us to source. But because we are blinded, we don't know that we have such resources, we don't even know how to try. If you are somebody who can win grants and you are doing so much for the institution, why do we allow you to wait to climb? We can push you, and I can do that. You bring in $10 million today, you have a very good innovation. I can make all the justification to get you to where you will take several years to get to.
Quality assurance specialist Dr. Valid Mukuku, who was the resource person in an interview, noted that technical universities in the country can transform the economy of the country if they are given the needed push. Dr. Hilel Liman Technical University is one of the 10 polytechnics turned into technical universities by the government. She said one way that technical universities in the country can develop is for them to collaborate and pull their resources together for a common good.
And I encourage these 10 technical universities to collaborate in some sense that, for example, if they are offering engineering, they can come together to buy some engineering equipment. Some will be situated in that institution, some will also be situated in this institution, but they have the realization of economies of scale, that they have put their monies together. And with that money, they can now afford to buy things which could not be bought by one institution. Do you see? So they should forge some sort of collaborations, meaningful collaborations, where they put some of their differences aside, some of their fears aside, and look at where they can come together.
Reporting for Joy News, Rafik Salam. Wow.
In our next story, the lack of a resident ophthalmologist has forced persons with eye defects to seek medical care outside the region. But there's been a source of relief following a free eye screening exercise conducted by Humanity First UK and Ghana, an NGO. Back to Rafik Salam, who reports again.
Humanity First is a multi-sector non-governmental organization that seeks to lessen the burden of the poor in deprived areas. The latest addition to the many services rendered to the people of the Wa municipality and its surrounding communities at the Wa Municipal Hospital is the gift of eyesight.
Gift of Sight is one of the many projects initiated by Humanity First. Under this project, about 300 people are expected to have their eyes screened and also surgery conducted on them. And so this is one of the theaters of the Wa Municipal Hospital where we are currently in, and then that process is currently ongoing.
We are doing cataract surgeries, and we estimate to do 300 within this week. But this particular case is what we call pterygium, where there is a growth from the conjunctiva covering the cornea. So we are just finished with that one, and we'll be moving to another case, which is a cataract case. About 98%, I believe, will be cataract. And then we have pterygium, which might form the 2% of the cases.
Dr. Majid Lai Al-Hassan is a medical director on the program.
So as part of our memorandum of understanding, we have voted to help in skill training and skill transfer. With that, we invite in experts from our partners in the United Kingdom. This time around, we have a specialist ENT, in fact, a consultant ENT surgeon. We also have a consultant pediatrician. We also have among our group consultant obstetrician gynecologists. They are to provide neonatal and basic life supports and also training in essential skills in maternal health care. And this is going to go on hand in hand together with the eye surgeries that we are undertaking.
The Upper West region has no resident ophthalmologist. Persons who have problems with their eyes and want to seek urgent medical care has to travel out of the region. Dr. Abubakar Zakaria is the medical superintendent of the One Municipal Hospital.
We don't have a resident ophthalmologist, but we have a nice eye nurses, ophthalmic nurses that are helping in screening and treating minor eye problems. But to the surgical side, we need an ophthalmologist to do that. And they have been able to mobilize the specialties, the special people that are supposed to do these eye surgeries.
Team leader of Humanity First UK, Dr. Isaac Sirik, stated the reason why the charitable organization decided to add eye screening and surgeries on their list of priorities.
It is an area that they concentrate on simply because they know the burden of this particular disease, essentially cataracts, is so prevalent in this country and also in other parts of West Africa. And so that is why we thought on this visit we would add that element of work to our practice, because we were certain that this would help the local population. And we've worked together with one of the very experienced local eye surgeons to deliver this program under the banner of Humanity First UK.
Consultant pediatrician Dr. Ijaz Ahmed, who is part of the fundraising team for Humanity First UK, expressed joy over the progress of work so far.
One of the fundraiser in UK, I do go for charity work, raise funds. So I have been witness of the funds which I raised it is being used here in this country. I have been in Benin, where I have seen this project being used as well over there. So I can go back, tell them that the money which you are giving, donating for this gift of sight scheme is being used, and I'm a witness of that.
The team later called on the Upper West Region Minister, Dr. Hafiz bin Sali, at his office. Reporting for Joy News, Rafiq Salam.
Moving on now, the European Union is partnering the government of Ghana to support the livelihoods of fisherfolk in the country. Ghana's fisheries resources have been on a decline as a result of several factors, including illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing practices. The program, launched about 4 years ago and being implemented by the Sirath Development Organization, will identify ways of improving the fisheries sector. There's more in this report.
Project is one of 4 projects that is being launched under the CSO RISE program, a civil society organization in research and sustainable development program. The fisheries sector has been bedeviled with several challenges that have impacted the livelihoods of the people that depend directly on the sector. Under the project, the Sirath Development Organization is partnering the Center for Coastal Management at the University of Cape Coast to support the thesis of 5 master's students to research in Ghana's fisheries sector. Program Manager and European Union Delegation to Ghana in charge of fisheries, forestry, natural resources and environment, Christopher Akwan, throws more light on the project.
I'm sure all of us are quite aware of what's happening within the fisheries sector. We need not remind ourselves. We see the extent of degradation that has happened in our oceans. How now we can't even get fresh fish to eat. We just have to take our frozen ones and ones being imported. I'm sure we go on the market and all what we see, they said burger and what? What's the other one? The Ghanaian one, huh? Yes, so this tells us what's happening in our oceans. But our ancestors did their best through things like taboo days, beliefs, the role of chief fishermen and all of that to try to manage our resources. But all of these things have been put aside. And we are using our own wisdom, which oftentimes are not the best.
Director for the Syria Development Organization, responsible for West Africa, Ghana, Liberia, Sierra Leone, and Senegal, Paul Kofi Oseiusu is upbeat that the project will contribute to reviving the hopes and aspirations of the people that depend on the fisheries sector.
Basically, as an organization, we consider research to be a very critical part of our operations, and that is why we have supported students to undertake research into Ghana's fisheries sector. It's very important, and we all know very well that the artisanal sector of Ghana is having some significant challenges, and it plays a lot of vulnerability risks to people who are living within coastal communities. Again, there's also issues about policy, there's also issues about programming, development, and so on and so forth. We partnered with the University of Cape Coast, that's the Coastal Center for Coastal Management, in order to make sure that we have research that is actually telling us what exactly is happening on the ground, how that can inform government policy actors and all the various stakeholders in the sector, and ultimately help to transform the livelihoods of people who are in our coastal communities. Again, we also need to transform the sector. We need to look at things beyond just a 1 month close season. Can we do things that would help us to build our stocks more aggressively? The aquaculture sector is something that we also need to look at, developing the aquaculture sector. Another thing is that what are the things we can do beyond fisheries that can make people who are so dependent on the sector to actually be out of it, so that we have fewer people in there. There are more and more opportunities, and we just looked at the presentation that showed the high vulnerabilities that are seen in this fisheries sector. So these are the things that I think we should do, but there are more. There are more that can be done, and as every now and then, as organizations and as stakeholders, we need to sit down and assess what we have done and see whether they are working and propose new ones that we will be committed to.
Some of the students on the project shared their findings with Joy News.
I went further to look at the behavioral factors that influence someone's intention to use or not to use this hunter wheel. And I got to realize that indeed there are several behavioral factors that you can think of. We can look at the performance expectancy, we can look at the effort expectancy, we can look at whether there's facilitating support that will enhance these fisher folks to use this technology. We also look at whether there's motivation to use this, whether the fisher folks or the fish processors, they find it very interesting and pleasant when they are using a hunter to smoke fish. And we also look at the price or the cost value of adopting a hunter, and all this.
Well, back here in Accra, traders at Domekwa Benya and Taifa markets won the chief executive of Ghana East Municipal Assembly, Kaki Man, dismissed. They accused the MC of sidelining them and prioritizing personal interest over the development of the markets, which rake in a lot of revenue for the assembly.
Voices of angry traders who are not pleased with the management style of the municipal chief executive. Vicentia Lamptey is a level 300 student and helps the mother sell in the market. She is of the opinion the MC does not have respect for the traders and thus does not work in their interest.
We have met here this morning to register our displeasure and grievance about the maltreatment, oppression, and disrespectful treatment meted on us by the Ghana East MC, Honorable Kaki Man. Instead of the concentration of bringing progress and improvement to the welfare of the traders, she has rather taken interest in creating division among the traders. She is not a unifier. She came to disturb the peace of the market. Kaki, as MC, is a square peg in a round hole. She does not know her job. She must go as soon as possible. She is arrogant, disobedient, and boastful.
What they refer to as maltreatment by the MCE.
The MC is really disturbing us. Today they'll come and tell you to move. Tomorrow they'll come and say this person is a queen. They've overthrown the other queen. We don't understand what she's doing. And I don't think that is the work of the MC. She has her own duties and the queen mothers here have their own duties. We plead on the government to dismiss her because she's not complying with the rules. She doesn't want to be in her lane. She's conflicting her duties and making things difficult for those of us who are selling here.
Without any reason, we were sitting there. She was a diabetic patient about to eat. All of a sudden, Kaki bowed inside the office without greeting, without saying anything. She's the one handcuffed her without any reason. We don't know what this woman has done. Kaki handcuffed an old 60-year-old woman and punched the face. I'm an eyewitness. I witnessed it myself. When we went to the police station, Kaki is denying, but Kaki has handcuffed a 60-year-old woman in this market without any offense committed.
The traders want Kaki Man dismissed as MCE for Ga East Municipal Assembly.
Well, thank you for staying with us. We'll be returning shortly with the news review. Do stay.